June 29th. We all are here to enjoy the benefits of intensive course in Sky. We call our process as Sky because SKY is an abbreviation for Simplified Kundalini Yoga. Simplified Kundalini Yoga is called as Sky in short. So, first we have to understand all about the Sky system. This is the system to develop the personality to the best of happy, peaceful and blissful life. We may think this is the course, personality development course. In this course, we are transforming ourselves from the material consciousness to the spiritual consciousness, then from the spiritual consciousness to the God consciousness. Consciousness is in man is working in three levels: peripheral, middle, infinite. Peripheral is mind. Whenever you use your mind through the senses, get contact with the materials and enjoyment, all such activities are mental functions. Whatever you do by mind, all are imprinted as a negative in photography. Again and again that will reflect, inducing the same thought and same action. Or you yourself by will refer the imprints as a record of information. So you may by wish get the reflection or reference as a record which is imprinted inside. Or when the mental frequency adjusts to such and such level, automatically that kind of thoughts and actions will reflect in the mind. So here, the consciousness of man is very great, a treasure of the universe. The beauties of nature are all over the world, all over the universe. The secrets of nature are within the mind. Such is the greatness and potential of our consciousness. As far as we understand the potential of ourselves, as far as we develop the potential to the understanding and implementation into our life, that much will be the success, happiness in our life. Without knowing the cause and effect system, when we disturb the nature and natural rhythm in any way, the reaction will be pain, miseries, diseases, all these will come. When we maintain the natural rhythm between body and soul, between soul and mind, between self and others, between will and nature, always we will feel a peaceful life, peaceful enjoyment. Wherever the natural rhythm is disturbed, the indication or reflection, reaction is felt by us as pains, miseries and problems in life. So when we understand the law of nature, when we understand the potential of man, when we understand the nature of mind and its function, when we understand the cause and effect system under which whatever we do, the result comes into being, then we will enjoy creative life. So, we have to understand our own potential. We have to understand how to develop our potential to the best of happiness. Here, the yoga comes to help mankind. What yoga does? Yoga relieves mankind from all pains and miseries and provides peace and ecstasy. There are 4 levels in the feelings of the consciousness: pain, pleasure, peace, and ecstasy. Pain is the aggravated state of mind. There our energy is being converted and consumed more wrongly, more than the tolerable limit of our senses and our body. The pleasure is the sensation whenever our energy is consumed, surplus energy is consumed up to the tolerable limit of our senses. That releasing process is felt as pleasure. Where there is no pain or pleasure, a normal, uniform sensation is felt. That is called peace. Only in the state of peace our mind can develop towards the perfection of the consciousness. Then ecstasy. When the mind goes to the infinite state, become one with the Almighty, or natural blossoming as beauties of nature, with the total perspective vision, and the mind expands to the whole universe, or becoming one with the universal being, understands its greatness and enjoys a blissful state of self. That is ecstasy. So, as we develop in day-to-day life the potential of our mind, that state will come again and again. We will enjoy the life. So, we have to understand all these processes. What is going on in the nature? Everything is going on within our mind. Even though you get from outside, only when the mind gets into contact with the outside material, then only that may come as pleasure or pain. So, always pleasure, pain, peace, ecstasy, all are within the mind, only by the mind. Therefore, the yoga teaches a perfect understanding what is mind, what is the potential of the mind, how the pain and pleasure comes into being, how we will enjoy always pleasure, avoiding pains and miseries. Yoga makes everybody to understand this art. Man is unique among all living beings. He is provided with such wonderful mind, consciousness, to realize its own self. That is the sixth sense. The structure is so well constructed by the nature for a period of many millions of years through the evolution process. When we meditate on our own body, understand the structure and the functions of every cell, every part, then we will understand the labyrinth work of Almighty within ourselves, connecting every cell, every part, and giving all the results to the mind. Even then, why man is suffering from pains and miseries? This is the question. Everybody sitting here, we are not away from the sufferings. Knowingly or unknowingly, we are involved in pains and miseries several times in our life. Why so? We are provided with everything. We are having great potential within. Why we have to suffer from the pains and miseries? Man's personality is conditioned by two layers of imprints of experiences. One layer is all the imprints of experiences from the date of birth up to now. Whatever we enjoyed, whatever we thought of, whatever we imagined, whatever we experienced, whatever we understood, all are imprinted in our soul as universal computer. So that conditions our personality. In addition to that, when we are born on the world, we add another layer of imprints of experiences, that is hereditary imprints. Hereditary imprints are very great. It has come from millions of generations up to our parents. From the date of conception itself, all the qualities, character, imprints, everything of our parents are getting as imprints in the chromosome. That is the blueprint for our body and mind in the beginning. With the blueprint, our soul, in the state of superconsciousness, builds up the body accordingly without any error. All the hereditary imprints are not coming only from parents. We got hereditary imprints from their parents. They got from their parents. If you go on tracing back the hereditary link, it will go on back and back up to the first man who started life on the earth. From that day onwards, up to our parents, there was no interval. It was the continuity in the hereditary link. So all the generations together, whatever happened, whatever enjoyed, whatever experienced, all were getting imprinted and passed on to next generation. That is, up to our parents, all the imprints are there. That is the inner layer of imprints in us. So to say, our personality is conditioned with two layers of imprints of experiences. One is all the imprints of the present life, from the date of birth up to now. Other is hereditary imprints, let's see, ending with parents, beginning with the first man who started life on the earth. So the combination of these two imprints of experiences condition the personality of everybody in the world. So everybody is conditioned by two imprints of experiences. So according to the imprints, character of the man, quality of the man, personality of man shine. So in the imprints, there are good imprints, there are bad imprints. Good imprints are called virtues. Bad imprints are called sinful imprints. Whatever we do, According to the law of nature, the result comes into being as pain or pleasure. Every action gives proper result appropriately. According to the time, place and object of contact, every action gives its own result. Whatever we do, that action results in pain to self or others at present or in future to the body or mind. That is called sinful imprints. Whatever we do that results in removing the sinful imprints and giving happiness and peace and help developing our consciousness to identify ourselves with the universal being, all such activities are called virtues. So, the imprints of virtues always will result in happiness and peace. The sinful imprints will always reflect again and again, make the person involved into the same action and get the same result. This is the law of nature. Nobody can escape. Now, when we understand what we do, we want to get rid of the sinful imprints. We want to enjoy the peace and happiness. We want to develop our consciousness to understand our great potential and understand the greatness of Almighty, which is controlling the whole universal functions. So this all automatically come into being when we sit and think, automatically we are getting in touch with the inner conscience. There this real, natural, creative desire comes into being. This comes because of the wisdom. Every experience physically gets imprint, spiritually becomes wisdom. Understanding this is painful, this is pleasurable. Here we get experience in every action. All such experiences are developing our consciousness in wisdom. All the activities physically imprinted in the cells, those are inducing our cells to react again and again the same way. So, even though we understand this is good, this is bad, we have to go in right path. Many a times we cannot do it because the imprints of habits are so strong. Several years, several generations, the imprints are getting stronger and stronger in our personality. So, only by constant effort and awareness, we have to get rid of from the unwanted imprints in our personality. For that, a systematic practice is necessary. Without practice, the imprints cannot be changed. A systematic practice, streamlining the mind, disciplining the activities for virtuous way of living. Such a practice is called yoga. Yoga is nothing but turning our mind towards the creative life to get rid of all the pains and miseries and enjoy the bliss and peace. That is called yoga. So in yoga, there are two processes. One is discipline of action. Other is strengthening and increasing the intellectual clarity. Streamlining of the mind, disciplining the deeds, both are to be jointly developed. So, in the yoga system, meditation is prescribed for training the mind, to strengthen the mind, to bring the mind to the peaceful state, to increase the willpower, to improve the intellectual clarity. For all this, you have to train up the mind. That is called meditation. What to meditate on? There are 4 processes. One is withdrawal from the outward activities. So that is called detachment. Detachment is not renunciation, leaving away everything and going where? Wherever you go, you are on the same land. Wherever you go, you are with the same natural needs, appetite, feeling of high and low, condition of temperature and excitatory forces, all are with you. All the thoughts and imprints are with you. So, giving away everything and going somewhere is not renunciation. Getting detachment with understanding, finding limit in enjoyment with everything. That may be property, that may be enjoyment, that may be persons, whoever it may be. In the contact, there should be limit and method. Following the limit and method with awareness, not to cross the awareness. That is the real renunciation. Everywhere we can go, anywhere we can go. But renunciation is not to go beyond the limit. Such awareness in every action is real renunciation. So first we have to understand the renunciation to discipline our action. Then the mind is free. What we want, up to that it will work. So then you have to fix your mind on one thing at will. Focusing attention on one thing at will. This is called concentration. First, withdrawal of the mind from outward activities. Second is focusing attention at will on anything. That is a practice. The third is meditation. Meditation is where from the mind emerges. Keeping the mind, merging the mind into the same base. That is called meditation. What is that? That is the soul. All the imprints are in the soul particles. So, our mind has to merge only with the soul. So, you have to find out the soul energy and merge the mind within that. The soul energy is called Kundalini Yoga by Eastern Jnanis, Eastern saints, Eastern language. So, meditating, fixing the mind on the life force is Kundalini meditation. Then, the end of the Kundalini meditation, the successful state comes. You can go beyond the life force, become one with the infinite state. In the infinite state, the consciousness and Almighty both are same. In the life force state, you are split. In the mental state, when you are using your senses, there you are mind. So, these 3 stages should be understood by practical experience. So, in the mental training, psychic training, there are 4 processes. Withdrawal of the mind, focusing attention on one thing at will, merging the mind on the life force where from the mind emerges, and becoming one with the Almighty, the universal being. These 4 stages are for the mental practice. One after other, if a man practices, he will understand all about his own mind, own self, own consciousness. And the other end of the mind, he will find himself. as the eternal power, Almighty the God. Almighty the God is penetrating in everything, existing in everything. There is no place or thing where there is no Almighty. So when he understands that point, he realizes Almighty the God, he realizes his own consciousness, he realizes that consciousness, infinite state of consciousness is Almighty the God. So to achieve this goal, the meditation is the process. Then on the way, in the Kundalini Yoga practice, there are some training, introspection, examining ourselves, how the mind is functioning. That is the philosophy of life, analysis of thought, moralization of desire, neutralization of anger, eradication of worries, raising the question, who am I, finding the answer. All these introspection workshop will be given. So by introspection one will understand everything of his own self, everything of the purpose of becoming, everything of where we must go, how we should go. Before understanding all these things, not following moderation in food, work, rest, sex and use of thought force, we would have deteriorated our health. Some imprints would have been there. There must be some illness. That is to be cleared. If there is illness in the body, mind will not be free to develop its own consciousness to the perfection. The disease will be an obstruction. Therefore, in the Kundalini Yoga system, there is simple exercise which will regulate the blood circulation, heat circulation, energy circulation. Between the body and soul, these three media are maintaining the relationship between two. Blood circulation, heat circulation, air circulation. These three are normal. The relationship between body and soul will be harmonious. That will result in good health and also peaceful mind. All these are taught. So, in the Kundalini Yoga, all the processes are systematically comprised to metamorphose the character of person, character of the man, changing the personality to the creative life, to understand the potential, understand the goal, understand the approach. So, this is the process of Kundalini Yoga. The benefit is one can lead better life with full understanding what we do, where we do, why we do, in this way. So, with the full understanding when we live, that is the life of wisdom. In addition to body consciousness, we come to the soul consciousness. Soul is called spirit. It is called spiritual knowledge. When we understand the spirit and live accordingly, maintaining the welfare of the spirit, that is called spiritual life. The end and goal is realization of self, realization of Almighty. With these words, I conclude my speech and wish all of you enjoy the benefit of Kundalini Yoga by following regularly all the practices what you are going to learn in this course and enjoy the life well with a contentment, peace and happiness. Be blessed by the divine, be blessed by the divine, be blessed by the divine.